What would you do if you received a mysterious letter and a set of instructions sending you on a solo trip across Europe? And let's go a little bit further. What if inside that letter there was stuffed $1,000, equivalent to $1,600 by today's purchasing power, and basically instructions from someone who had been dead for 3 months? I would start packing, for one thing. I mean, according to the rules imposed by the late Aunt Peggy, only a backpack is allowed. No journals, no, electronics of any kind, no suitcase. You're taking a backpack and only a backpack. So did I mention no electronics? So no phone. I don't know, that'd be the part where I'd kind of get lost, I think, either in the airport and like, what about your boarding pass? Do you have to have like a regular paper boarding pass? I mean, I don't know. This is just like where I got a little lost with this book. I'm Connie, Book Nook Librarian. Welcome back to my channel. I am going to talk about a book that I wasn't sure I was going to finish. I got into it, but then I got kind of stopped by a few details. Absolute madness to think about traveling without a phone. I mean, do you agree? Okay, so the book is 13 Little Blue Envelopes, and it's by Maureen Johnson. It was published in 2005, and it's not that it's aged terribly, not at all. It's just that, well, traveling without a phone now just seems like a massive risk to take, right? I mean, like not having access to basic things like GPS is a big one. But then there's other little things like just being able to call somebody or figure out something, Yelp ratings, I don't know, just all the little things that we might use our phone for are basically derailed in this book. So you have to like really think a little outside the phone. I've really been wanting to travel lately and I just haven't been able to do so. So for some reason, this book from 2005 like threw itself at me. Now it's really a fun premise for a book. I mean, you have Ginny, who is Ginny Blackstone, and her name is Virginia Blackstone, and she embarks on this spontaneous European adventure following a set of rules imposed by her late Aunt Peggy, who has been dead for 3 months by the time she gets the letters. So each of the 13 envelopes guides Ginny on a new destination and challenges her to step outside of her comfort zone because she is a huge introvert. This book is kind of a little bit of self-discovery, a lot of travel, a little bit of romance, and there is a fair measure of mystery involved because you just want to know what is inside each of those envelopes. So Maureen Johnson, author, has just a really fabulous technique with pulling the reader into a story despite the 2005 copyright and just looking at this aunt and the communication and the connection between the aunt and her niece, Ginny. So, yeah, I just kept turning the pages. You are literally reading along for the ride. I mean, that's the best way I can think of to put it. She opens each of the envelopes and there's a mission to accomplish and details on what to do and what to see. Mind-blowing and so fun. This is the position you're in right now. You are about to go to England with no idea of what is in store for you. Your path, your instructions are in the envelopes. Here's the catch. You may only open them one at a time and only once you've completed the task in each letter. I'm relying on you. I'm relying on you to be honest. This edition that I have is an Epic Reads edition. For one thing, it's just like really fun. Look at those colors. And then it also right up front has the rules. So the rules are detailed up front in my amazing copy, and this edition came out in 2020 and everything in the actual edition still applies. So this edition just makes it feel like more modern. No laptop, no cell phone, no music, and no camera. No camera. Like that's right up front. So it's like the rules are right here and I love it. It's so fun. But by today's standards, is that really even realistic? I mean, I don't know. Would you travel without your phone? I don't know. Is it even possible? I can't even really get my head around that. No GPS, no contact home. Yeah, they do have these opportunities, internet cafes. That kind of comes up in the story, which is something that was a thing back then. You know, so like roaming charges, you have to like really think a little bit. So while it isn't historical, there's some historical elements that the technology kind of like you look at in a different way, which is, I think it's really fun. It's been a real interesting experience, a different sort of journey alongside the main adventure. So to be fair, to be honest, I really didn't, I almost like bailed right then and there. And I don't bail on books very often. I very rarely say that I'm not going to finish a book. I usually just power right through. So this was a weird feeling for me to think, yeah, do I really want to do this? Maybe this book is just too old. I don't know if I really want to go there. But I went there, and I gotta say, I'm a better person for it. I really enjoyed 13 Little Blue Envelopes by Maureen Johnson. It's definitely worth it. The letters are so cool. That type of novel is called epistolary, like an epistolary book. And it's a format that I really enjoy and I find myself really drawn to because it's sort of like the characters are talking to each other, but really you're getting one character writing in a letter to the other character, receiving the information and direction or, you know, reflection. So I really love that format. It's very appealing to me. And that's probably another reason I kept turning the pages. But not every book has to be like a personal favorite to be worth reading. I mean, what kept me reading this book was curiosity and the investment into Ginny's character and into what she was doing and where she was going and what was happening. And she wanted to be close to her Aunt Peg, and learn about her life and the choices that she made that were somewhat unconventional. So I really love that component of it. And that alone, you know, those three reasons side by side really kept me turning the pages, even though I was also kind of at the same time questioning where this was going. Isn't that kind of like travel? People were just like so impressed with how loved Ginny was that her aunt would do this for her. The best part about Aunt Peg was that when you were around her, you felt more interesting. Like, I love that. That's just so sweet. Peg is an artist, and that detail really brings an extraordinary perspective to the story. Peg really opens up the world for Ginny and any and all armchair travelers. She cracks it all open, and I guarantee you that you will get ideas about where you want to take your next trip. Guaranteed. And get this, there's a second book, and it came out in 2012, and I don't know, I started it. I just started that book. I can't really help myself. I need to know more, and I am really enjoying it so far. So what about you? Have you ever finished a book that you weren't sure you'd finish, and or you've been in the midst of the book and all along going, I don't know if I'm going to finish it. I don't know if I'm going to finish it. Tell me in the comments what that book was. And if you have any experience with Maureen Johnson and the 13 Little Blue Envelopes. And may your journeys on the page and in the world be memorable. I'll see you in the next video. Until then, keep reading.